this a lot as it relates to my personal dating life. A lot of my friends who are Black women who are in their late 20s, early 30s, who have been struggling with dating, who prefer to date Black men, and have been doing it in comparison to my white peers and some peers outside of like other races, but specifically my white.
Hold on.
Difficult. They make it. Hi, I have an answer, and it's simply because they don't have money. So I've been.
This what she's saying. This what she's saying.
As it relates to my personal dating life, a lot of my friends.
Hold on.
I genuinely want to know why Black men make dating so difficult. They make it.
Hi, I have an answer, and it's simply because they don't have money. So I've been thinking.
We don't have any money.
60% of us are in middle class without kids. We're still getting married at a 32.4 or 6% rate. Black women are getting married 1 out of 4. Why do I have to keep spitting these stats? For 60% of us to be in middle class and straight without kids, that means we do have money. So that means there must be a lack of something within you why you can't attract one of these men who so-called don't have money. But let's see what's your excuse for divesting.
Cool. Let's look at it. Let's look at who doesn't have any money. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Go ahead, brother.
This is from urban.org, right? Wealth and income are two components of economic well-being. Income is a flow of money that comes in from an employment, Social Security, or other sources, yet wealth consists of assets, homes, cash, businesses, vehicles, minus debt, credit cards, student loans, mortgages, medical debt. Wealth is critical. In its absence, families have difficulty managing their financial emergencies, passing money down to the next generation, and participating in activities that can build even more wealth, like purchasing a home or starting a business. Research shows the racial wealth gap is even larger than the income gap. But wealth is not equally accessible. Black households have just 15% of the wealth of white households, and this has not changed much over time. For Black women, the gap is also stark. Let's go. Let's skip that part right there. Let's just get to this part. Similarly, Black women earn less than white people, despite educational attainment. For example, Black women without a high school diploma earn 61% of the median white men's wages. What did I tell y'all? I made videos plenty of times telling y'all that in the 90s, Brad had Keisha working, for $30,000 as CEOs. 30,000, 33,000. They were CEOs working for like 40,000 tops. Brad making 90,000. Yet they were looking down at plumbers. They were looking down at Black men that were construction workers. And for the part with passing down wealth through buying homes and stuff like that, I told you about that. I said, listen, if you don't want to be under the leadership of Black men, it's up to you to pass down wealth to the children. Oh, but you can't because you're broke. You can't. You can't pass down any wealth down to them because you're broke. You don't save. You don't care about the future. You don't care about your children. It's all about you. It's all about designer. It's all about going out. It's all about putting yourself in debt just to go on trips. Yeah, they do that. Okay. Between 2009 and 2020, Black college-educated women experienced a 3.7% wage decrease, and Black women categorized as working class experience a wage increase of 4.2%. Black women also face high level of unemployment compared with white people. 17% of Black women with less than a high school degree were unemployed in 2017, compared with 10% of white women and 9% of white men. Oh, it gets nastier. Let's go. And the COVID-19 pandemic widened these disparities because black women were more likely to work in occupations and sectors heavily affected by the economic downturn, such as the healthcare and social services, educational services, retail and accommodation and food services. Black women who stayed employed during the pandemic face a disproportionate risk of virus exposure because they are overrepresented in essential work, working in close physical proximity to others, and paid less when in those roles. Yeah, they work in these whether it's social services, healthcare, retail. So yeah, and when the pandemic hit, they had no men out there to do anything for them because they don't need a man, right? They could do better without a man. They could do bad by themselves, right? So they were out there not only losing their jobs but also risking exposure because they were out there competing with men to get toilet paper. You remember this? Okay, let's go. None of these disparities are accidental. They stem from the interlocking systems of white supremacy and sexism. Yeah, we don't want to hear that. We don't want to hear that. They did this to themselves. They did this to themselves. Yeah, there's going to be issues of being under systemic racism. Yeah, there's issues, but they did this to themselves. They did this to themselves when they decided they didn't want to be under the leadership of black men, and they wanted to go out there and compete with black men, and it didn't work out for them. There's really no gender war. They lost. They lost as soon as they decided to get up and leave because they didn't kick black men out of the homes that they own. They just got up and left. Now, let's go back to Myrtle Urkel. What you got to say now?
Thinking about this a lot as it relates to my personal dating life. A lot of my friends who are black women who are in their late 20s, early 30s, who have been struggling with dating, who prefer to date black men, and have been doing it in comparison to my white peers and some peers outside of like other races, but specifically my white peers, as to why we all went to similar schools. We all went to similar schools. We all have similar educational backgrounds. We all work similar jobs. For bar, we would say we would live very similar lives, except I just oscillate in primarily black spaces and they oscillate in primarily white spaces.
Just say you go back and forth. Yeah, oscillate. Just say you go back and forth. I'm telling you, they try their best to sound educated. When all you have to say is go back and forth. They try their best to sound educated. They try their best because education is above everything with them. But yet, for them to think that they're the most educated
Men, they're not. I already said that black women are not the most educated. I proved that white women trump them. Y'all are not the most educated. Part 2 coming up.